Hey, you think anybody still remembers that we do these?
I'd forgotten that we do these.
Speaking of things you've forgotten, we're the Bittersweet Gamers!
We are?
9 people left, and it looks like we're on number 3.
You don't count. 1. We've done you. 2. 3!
Hifumi!
Hifumi time!
So, if Hajime and Hifumi had to fight with their ahoges, who would win?
Well, I mean, Hajime has the advantage that his is clearly like a slashing weapon, whereas Hifumi is clearly a piercing weapon. He'd have to use his like a spear, whereas Hajime could like use it as kind of like a crescent sword.
Oh, no. You're not. I don't disagree with the fundamental part of that. Like, Hajime's is a sword, but isn't Hifumi's like a shield?
Well, I mean, his head's kind of like a shield if we factor in the surface texture of the head.
What are we doing?
Ooh, is this a power level discussion?
Can I just say really quick, it's pretty funny to see Hifumi next to Celeste here.
Funny, huh?
Yeah.
That's one way to put it.
I, too, am a very admirable practitioner of the fine arts. Don't tell anyone I told you this. When I focus as hard as I can on the palm of my hand, I can feel it heating up.
Oh, yeah?
Am I about to awaken? Have I chosen to become a god?
No, if anything...
I've even learned to gather it up and shoot it!
If anything, you just became like a battle manga character. Probably not a god.
Potato. Would you like me to teach you? I can show you the way of Hifumi's Hisatsu!
Well, that's really more of an ogi. I wasted my time hanging out with Hifumi. That face!
Don't worry, your senpai has everything covered. Now then, this time, would you like to learn about one of my many legends?
Do I have a choice, Hifumi? Your legends?
Naturally! You don't become the ultimate fanfic creator without a few legends sprouting up around you.
I guess legends is one way to put it.
One such legend is how, in middle school, I was able to convince the school to create a fanfic club.
How did you pull that off?
And from that day, I exposed myself and my fanfic to the world at large.
You were drawing porn in middle school.
By the way, do you happen to know what all my work is based on?
No, I have no idea what it is.
Well, surely you've heard of the highly acclaimed anime, Demon Angel, Pretty Pudgy Princess.
That's it? All of it is just that?
Now, you might think that sounds totally cliche, but you would be wrong!
Well, I get that you're a fan of it. I'd have the same argument about Mazinger Z or something with someone else, but...
I didn't simply copy the pretty girl Princess Pickles style. I took a total meta sci-fi approach.
Oh, sort of like applying Nanoha and Fate to Pretty Cure? Although, truthfully, I don't watch any of those.
My perspective was seen as quite odd, of course, but if you really look at what I was doing, it was porn.
Well, it was all magical girl anime. But Nanoha and Fate is one where it's a science fiction one where the enemies are basically like super robot enemies. They're giant robots.
Huh.
And they use like Goldion hammers sort of thing. Not really, but it's like that's the aesthetic. It's like, what an unusual approach for a show.
My version of Princess Pickles was the total antithesis of the new wave sci-fi movement.
Oh yeah, screw you. I'm not even interested in your crap anymore then.
In fact, it was my response to J.G. Ballard's speculative fiction styling.
Okay. See, at first I thought he was actually jerking my chain and that I needed to set him on fire, but maybe not.
My geekdom is leaking out again. I apologize.
No! What's the antithesis of speculative fiction?
Anyway, unlike most fans, I never saw Princess Pickles as your typical moe anime.
Unlike most fans, you mean like the super hardcore ultra doom death fans who see like the great literary value of like the pretty standard-ish shows they're watching? Yeah, that's what you are. Yeah. I definitely get that impression that you really liked it. But I can't believe that you were able to single-handedly persuade the school to let you make a club.
Oh, that's because I bribed them with a cut of my profits.
It was good enough that you could actually make that kind of money selling?
I am an ultimate.
Why do you only do Dojin, man? Why do you only do, like, Pudgy Princess Piggles porn, Dojin? Why don't you do your own stuff and become legitimately famous and legitimately employed?
I don't understand your question.
Well, I guess that's where you start, but it's like, if he's already able to make that much money, why doesn't he just go not porn? Profits?
And I've only gotten better at it. I'm blowing up. Now then, up until now, I've always focused on taking part in Princess Piggle's single-setting events.
Single setting? You're gonna do crossover now?
It's when a circle gets together to come up with a project or event focused on only one show or series. So, a Princess Piggles single-sitting event would only allow works involving Princess Piggles.
Oh, okay,
See?
okay.
On the flip side, if there's no restriction on the number of properties, do you know what that's called?
No, I really don't. That should be pretty clear based on my response. A single setting event only allows material from one show or series. And the opposite of that is when anything is allowed from any property.
Wouldn't that be free for all?
I mean, Fan Jam is not inside the way that's not the way that a Dojin circle would work. But I don't know, man. I really legitimately have no idea.
Well, it's either free for all or special event. Let's try free for all.
Okay. Oh, good. The opposite of the single setting event, is it just called a free-for-all? Maybe?
That's absolutely right. There are actually plenty of free-for-all events every year, and yet...
More and more slackers are showing up with no idea what fanfic really means. It's so annoying! So in order to crush these peons with all my might, I'm going to start taking part in more free-for-alls!
You're just gonna keep doing Piggle stuff, though, right?
Crush
them?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very friendly.
I don't participate in these events to make friends, and I cannot forgive those lazy bastards.
For defiling your art, etc.
And don't tell me to ignore them. If you let some little wimp survive, you'll regret it later. I have to crush them, like an apex predator.
You are remarkably cutthroat and competitive when it comes to Dojin.
Play any RPG where the villain spares the hero when he's level 1. And what happens? Boom! Dead!
It happens every time, it's true. I mean, I do get that. I kind of get it. But I also think you're maybe a little mad, because what are you doing? Are you finding other people who are drawing Dojin and then destroying them?
Yes!
Why? How?
It's a dog-eat-dog industry where only the most brutal survive.
No, I don't think brutal is the word we're looking for.
Oh, but don't worry. I'm gonna start you off easy by getting you involved in some simple cosplay action.
Well, doing it is fun, but coming up with, like, the time and the money and the equipment, I'm gonna get involved. Wait, did you say cosplay?
You're a pretty good-looking guy.
Why, thank you.
If your costume was decent enough, I might even let you work my booth. I bet you could even net yourself a magical girl harem.
No. It is a magical girl harem. A harem of magical girls. You have to understand what he's talking about.
So with that in mind, let's change the world of fanfic together!
As somebody who is obscenely nerdy, this feels good. Do you know why?
Why?
Because it means that there are other people nerdier than me. What does that even mean, bro? You know, it is one of those call out the trope and laugh at it situations when you talk about the bad guy sparing the good guy by not taking him seriously.
Right.
And it's funny, but you know, usually it's not a problem. Usually it's not actually executed badly. You see, it's like, how do you also provide motivation for your heroes? I mean, you don't have to have the bad guys just mopping the floor with them and sparing them every time, but it's like, maybe you should come up with like a legitimate way it could be pulled off.
Something that's a little believable, maybe, or something?
But, I don't know. In my quest to consume all the robot anime...
In the world.
Well, yeah. I mean, it only comes from one country, though.
Oh, hell, you know.
In that quest, I have seen very much garbage. Steaming piles of stinking garbage.
Shit! Oh, wait, sorry, wrong game.
And sometimes you get that. Sometimes it happens where the good guys keep getting captured by the evil mustache-twirling bad guys who are always like, now that I have finally apprehended you, my mortal foe, I will put you in jail, put a bunch of grunts that you kill by like the hundreds, and I will go walk off somewhere in another building, town, planet, whatever, and celebrate, because surely nothing will happen. Why?
I hear that overconfidence is a leading cause of death in villains.
It's just so frustrating. Like, I can put up with it for a little bit, but it's when it happens like 20 times in the same show.
Hifumi, tell me about the animes.
I could just never really get into magical girl stuff. Except for Utena.
Oh yeah, Utena's really good.
Revolutionary Girl Utena is actually one of the best shows, but that I've seen. It's one of my favorites. But I'm a big fan of David Lynch and the director of Revolutionary Girl Utena, who also did Penguin Drum, which is also excellent.
Penguin Drum is good.
They're very, very David Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those shows, I would say, are also literary. In any case, although I guess it's definitely in the spirit of Hifumi's FTEs.
Cosplayers these days are totally ignorant of the origin, the history, the significance of their hobby.
It is a pretty big deal. Cosplay has spread out, not just to doing it, but the awareness of it and the knowing the words. It's spread out into even things like mainstream American journalism.
Wow.
So just the existence of it is clearly...
Cultural phenomenon?
Yeah.
And if you don't know your history, you can never have a complete cosplay experience.
I really think it's interesting how Hifumi is. He is for real. He is a very serious fan. I used to be, when I was younger, I used to be kind of a my way or the highway, you sorry peasants, if you don't appreciate your fictional entertainment on the same scale as I do, then you were a heathen Philistine.
Ah, so you were Gundam.
No, I think
Just the way you were talking. The way you were talking. Like peasants.
Well, didn't I also say recently about Gundam? That Gundam, not that Gundam.
Right.
Didn't I say about Gundam recently that all guys who are nerds run into Chunibyo people when they're younger?
Right.
So, it's maybe all of them are to a degree for a while, just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it is called middle school sickness.
Yeah.
The sickness of being a guy in middle school. I used to be like that, and then I just loosened up, but I still am right, and if you don't enjoy everything the way that I like it, you're a sorry sack of crap. Totally kidding! I'm totally kidding. I think it's interesting that Hifumi is like that, but I don't think it's really the right way to be. But I do think it's important to be super freaking passionate and serious about your hobbies.
Especially when you're an ultimate.
Well,
Leon.
that's how you become an ultimate.
Unless you're Leon.
Well, yes!
So,
Mr. Nagy,
prepare for a gloriously detailed history of the cosplay world.
Now, in 1955...
Who did people cosplay as in 1955? We didn't even have Tezuka Works then. I listened to Hifumi's half-obsessed ranting for way too long.
Oh, only half? I need to up my game then. This swag is for me! Epic win!
Well, you sure like the noodles, and we have a billion of them, so here you go.
Oh, that's internet slang. Sorry, sometimes I forget not everyone's as streets ahead as I am.
Haven't I even brought that up?
I think you have, yeah.
The world in which I live is one where I have stood in front of the gates of the darkest parts of the internet and associated slang, and I have fought off all of it from entering my life. But sometimes it still creeps in. This is where, if I was really trying to be funny and witty, I would then say some extremely obscure bit of internet slang, or say a really obscure, super dated bit of internet slang. But I can't come up with any of those because I just established that I fight it all off at the door. So there. The punchline was that there was no punchline. I am now embarrassed.
Makoto.
What's wrong, Hifumi?
It hurts.
What, that you haven't been able to keep up with this season's offerings? What hurts? Are you okay? Did you say gagraga? You're really, sweaty. I'll go get you some medicine. That's what I'll call it.
Don't go into the nurse's office.
Wait. What kind of medicine do you need?
I've got a fever, and the only cure is porn. Coke.
What?
Coke! Diet Coke!
Diet Coke? Not only do you need Coke, but it has to be Diet Coke?
I have to watch my carb intake.
You... Ah! Don't you understand the insulin spike you get from aspartame as an artificial sweetener? No, you're not. You're fad nutrition. It's not. It's true, though.
No, I don't. I mean, look at me.
Okay, point taken.
Bring me some Diet Coke right now!
I won't even be in the same room as Diet Coke, or at the very least, I'm not going to touch it. Okay, so he just pulled a total 180. This addiction, this is why you don't get involved with Diet Coke. Think of the future, man. Think of your future. If you get lost in the throes of this, I don't think I've ever seen any Diet Coke here in the school.
I know. I've looked all over. I was hoping that maybe you'd magically have some in your inventory to give to me.
Well, I'll give
I'm
you some.
looking at you.
I'll give you some next time, okay? I think it's regular. It's not diet, though.
And now I'm going through Diet Coke withdrawal!
That's why you shouldn't drink Diet Coke! This stuff is addictive! Withdrawal.
If only I'd mastered the hypno-eye technique.
Then you could hypnotize somebody into giving you Diet Coke they don't have?
Yes! Then I'd take over Monokuma's brain and use him to go get me some Diet Coke, not actually escape or anything.
If you can do that, why don't you get us out of here and then you can get all the Diet Coke you ever want?
Oh, that's why I hang out with you, Makoto. You're a deep thinker. But I never did learn that one. You got lucky this time, bear.
Are you an idiot?
So, I can't take it anymore! I would literally murder everyone in here for a can of Diet Coke! Do you hear that, Monokuma? Oh, really?
Hifumi, if you say that and Monokuma shows up with a can of Diet Coke, I will murder you. Don't do it! Don't lose your mind! You gotta get through this, man!
Oh, man! How can I ever finish all of this Diet Coke? You say that because you don't understand the glory and splendor of Diet Coke.
There is no glory, and there is no splendor. It makes you hungrier than it was before you drank it. And it's worse for you than actual sugar.
Diet Coke is a friend to all mankind.
If you drink Diet Coke all day, you will get fat.
A single sip and your body melts like butter. It's the kind of high nothing can match.
Oh, no.
It clears my mind, and even the most boring conversation sounds like a cinematic masterpiece.
Okay, he's just addicted.
I knew I was going through withdrawal. Am I hallucinating now? Makoto, are you actually there? I'm not just talking to myself, am I?
You're also not talking to a can of Diet Coke, just so we're clear.
Away, vile spirits! I cast thee out!
It's important to get this monkey off your back. You'll be better for it.
I'm a gopher.
Hifumi, calm down!
Here come the auditory hallucinations. That voice.
Is it commercials for new Coke from the early 1980s?
Oh, Princess Piggles, it's you!
You can only choose one, Hifumi. Which do you take? The Diet Coke or Princess Piggles?
I can always draw more Princess Piggles.
Snap out of it, man! It's not real!
The princess told me to snap out of it.
I am not a princess. You can't let Diet Coke beat you! Not Diet Coke!
You're right! I won't lose! I'm a strong boy! I can endure this for you, my princess! Now let's play tag. Hooray, hooray. Tag, you're it!
So, squealing like a little girl, Hifumi ran off to who knows where to do God knows what, and I don't want to know. He's gonna be okay. Right? Yeah. He'll be fine. For sure. I'll just keep saying that to myself, and then I never have to actually know or interact with him again.
This is a school announcement. The first one to become the Blackened gets a 6-pack of Diet Coke.
Don't do it for just a six-pack! And this is school mode! We don't have to worry about that here! So, today...
Yeah?
Now, I don't know when these videos are necessarily going to be released, okay? But as of today, the videos that we have recorded have just been the long-winded ravings of insane people. Why today? Why now? Why is it that over and over, these mad, mad folks are poisoning our brains?
I don't know, man.
It's starting to all seem normal. What is normal anymore?
I don't
know either.
Hifumi, buddy, we've got some cola for you. Please don't freak out.
It's not Diet Coke, but...
I mean, I guess it's okay. Anyway, if you wanted to hang out for a while. Hey, Mr. Nagy?
I mean, sorry you don't like this Coke as much as the Diet Coke, but, I mean, we've already established that. There is a... Yeah, what's up?
I feel like you're worthy of my trust, you know? You're the only one I can confess to. I've reached my limit. I need to get out of here. Right now.
Hey, come on. Don't talk like that when you've got that creepy grin on your face. You know, knowing what happens with Hifumi, this is, like, kind of ominous.
Yeah, I need to see her. I need to get to a TV. I need to see the real Princess Pickles.
What's he mean, real? She's a cartoon character, but now might be a bad time to bring that up. I think I might get like a 2D axe in my head.
Or stabbed out by his hair.
From some waifu mob. Listen, don't get so upset. I'm sure you'll see her again really soon, and anime characters aren't worth killing people for, okay? And neither is Diet Coke. You'll see her, what was it? Something angel, pretty pudgy princess?
Something angel? Something angel? How dare you insult the princess like that? Say her name right, swine!
Swine? Her official name is Demon Angel Star Pretty Pudgy Princess.
I think so, yeah.
Pickles.
Pickles, yes.
Okay. I know it was definitely Damage Angel, Dharma Angel. Now I remember, the full title is Demon Angel, and you put the star in there, but you don't say it, kind of like gun sword.
Yeah.
Demon Angel Star Pretty Pudgy Princess. Right?
It's actually Demon Angel Star Pretty Pudgy Princess, to be precise.
Now, I did say that every single time, did
That's
I
fair,
not?
But Makoto didn't. You left out the star, but I suppose I'll let that slide.
Whew, thanks. But geez, Hifumi, you really love that anime, huh?
Of course.
She's my guiding angel. She opened my eyes to life. Before her, I didn't have a single friend. I was just a mild-mannered boy who liked to draw. I hurt everything I touched. I was a model young lad who fell to the dark side.
Not really a model, or not a model young lad, but everything else.
For example, sometimes a nicey-nice type girl would come to try to talk to me, right?
Oh, that's good.
You know, be nice to the weird dorky kid, and I'd scream at her, "You're such a hypocrite!" I'd just yell right in her face and make her cry. Man, I loved doing that.
Dude, that's awful. He probably traumatized that poor girl.
But by total chance, I happened to catch an episode of Demon Angel Star Pretty Pudgy Princess one day. At first, I felt nothing but contempt for it. I thought it was just another magical girl anime. However, after that, she came to me in my dreams.
Oh, yeah? Your dreams.
When I dreamed that I went on date after lovely date with Princess Pickles.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a teenager having a fantasy life.
It was so much fun.
I mean, as long as you understand the difference between fantasy and reality, having a healthy fantasy life is nothing but good. But you must understand what's the difference between what's real and what isn't.
That's the key problem here.
When I woke up and realized it was a dream, I got depressed. But I also realized I was in love. I wanted to experience that sensation again, so I started buying all the Princess Piggles stuff I could.
So you're saying that it wasn't Princess Piggles itself that actually appealed to you, but a feeling that you had once that was so joyous to you that happened in a dream. That's what you wanted.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, it wasn't that he liked Princess Piggles, but that he liked that feeling, and Princess Piggles...
And he associated it with that.
Like, yeah, it's like Princess Piggles stood in for that feeling. And that's why his Piggles Dojin are so unusual compared to the source material. Because for him, well, who really cares about the source material? It's just another magical girl anime. What he wants is, like, the character and overall guiding concept, which is what he associates with, like, the only feeling that's so good like that he's ever had.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, I'm sure quite a lot of people out there have something that they really, 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 really like. And, like, Danganronpa, exaggerations, hyperbole aside... I think quite a lot of folks who are watching this video probably understand this. I mean, with, like, me and Gundam, you know, to say that Gundam has not deeply influenced my life. Because the thing is people who... Entertainment and fiction really do deeply influence people's lives.
Yeah.
And you don't need some real reason or like some tangible, quote-unquote, defensible
Some
reason.
magical justification.
Yeah, a magical justification. Well said. You don't know what's going to inspire you.
Or resonate with you.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know until it happens. So, I certainly...
Okay to like what you like, even if it's trash. I'm just kidding.
Even if it's trash!
Unfortunately, in the show itself, the princess never falls in love, so I had to do it myself. So as much as I wanted to, I never got to see her face filled with love, the way I did in my dream. The face she made when she was in love was the cutest thing I've ever seen. So, filled to the brim with my overflowing affection for the princess, I decided to draw that face myself. I was so consumed with passion, and I finished one Princess Piggles project after another. I was so happy with the results, I decided to put it up on my personal website just to see what happened. And it was an instant success.
Huh.
That was the moment I was reborn as a true fanfic creator.
So essentially, putting any of the hyperbole and gags aside, he's a sad, lonely, frustrated guy who never learned to control... No. The guy has a dark side. The guy has a temper. And he doesn't have many limits. I mean, look at what happened.
I know.
He never really tamed that dark side. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe it's because he could never really look himself in the eye and kind of see himself for what he really was. But he's someone who... He was so sad and lonely and unfulfilled that as soon as the one thing came by that finally did it for him, he restructured everything about his entire life around it to great success.
But rather than actually dealing with that, it was just putting a bandage on it.
How so? I mean, I agree, but...
He never did face it down. He just ignored it in a different way.
You know, you're right. He ignored everything else in his life.
He obsessed about it from a different angle.
Obsessed about what?
That darkness.
No, I don't think he did. He ignored everything in his life, everything, and certainly including himself, in favor of Princess Piggles and Piggles-related stuff. So it was like the greatest blessing that ever occurred in his life because it gave him everything, but it still made him empty, you know?
It didn't fulfill him as a human.
Obviously, I really like a lot of different types of entertainment media.
Mm-hmm.
Like a whole lot. But there is more to life than that. And it's like, well, I mean, Hifumi never found that, obviously.
And this does explain why he was particularly weak to Celeste, his, cosplay obsessions.
So that's why, huh?
I was so happy. I had no idea there were other people on the planet who'd felt the same things I had.
I see.
I can't thank her. I know that. So instead...
I'll ball up all my love and affection and use it to do incredibly embarrassing things to her.
Okay, well, you know. I think he missed the mark by a mile. But maybe I'm better off for hearing what he had to say. I think I understand him a little better now.
She's still developing as a woman, you know, and I can keep developing her in all sorts of ways.
Well, that's the way it is. And maybe understanding him just a little better is good enough.
I could show you my sketches.
And that's where you get delusion. In the second game, we'd gotten it, and it's like super stupid powerful.
Oh god, it's so strong. Hi there, Mr. Naegi. It's kind of embarrassing, but there was something I was hoping to talk to you about. I'll be waiting in my room. Come as soon as you can.
I don't want to see your porn stash in front of other people. I wonder what's going on. To go out of his way to invite me to his room, what could he want to talk to me about? Could it be that this is the final event in his free time event chain? Well, I did what he asked and headed straight for his room. I mean, of course.
Welcome, Mr. Naegi, to my secret flower garden.
You just don't have enough robot models here, man. Dude. So, what did you want to talk about? Is it about Princess Piggles again?
Piggles? No, who cares about her?
What? What do you mean, who cares? I thought you cared, like a lot, like the defining feature of your life.
Oh, well, maybe I misspoke. It's just that I don't have room to think about her right now.
Huh, okay. What an interesting way to say that.
See, I was kind of starting to think about, just maybe, creating something original.
Well, gee, we were talking about that earlier. That's good. That's great.
It's like with Toko and her writing.
Yeah. You know, in a lot of ways, Hifumi may be one of the most realistic characters in the series.
How so?
He is somebody that a lot of people playing this game can relate to, even if, you know, he's like way off the deep end, of course.
Right.
But like, if you go to like a manga artist or even like a comic book artist or something, like outside, like in the US or Europe, aren't they actually kind of all like this? I don't mean their personality, but
I know what you're saying.
The arc of their life.
Yeah.
There was something where I was like, boom, I was hit. I love fiction, and this is what I have to devote myself to. Then they actually build up the skills and start doing it and are obsessed with whatever it was that pulled them in, and then they're like, you know, there might really be something here for me. And it's just, I think that...
And then their editors have to make them take breaks so they don't kill themselves.
Well, that did happen to Oda, like Eiichiro Oda, the One Piece author. Just like, I think, compared to other characters, his experience might be kind of realistic.
More realistic,
overall. Yeah. Original, huh?
It's actually been in the back of my mind the whole time I've been doing fanfic. Fanfic is amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's a way to connect people to a shared dream, so to speak.
I get it. I never got into Dojin, but
I think I have more to offer. I'm ready for the challenge of creating that dream myself.
I think you do a really good job. That the obsessive mind is actually really good for dealing with all the details.
I was thinking, if I could create something that might save someone, the way the princess saved me.
Oh, Hifumi.
I want to create a masterpiece that will astound a mainstream audience.
Let's see.
I only watch anime on the weekend, and I only really know the most popular comics.
Because he's so busy doing his own stuff.
I want to try and make something that has the same reach as stuff like that. I guess what I really want to do is create something that other people will want to make fanfic of. Of course, I'll still keep making fanfic myself. That's my life's work, after all. But if that can coexist alongside original work...
That's like the best of both worlds!
Quite a lot of big mangaka started out as doujin artists.
That's interesting.
Not all of them. a lot of them actually got like hired from winning contests.
I see.
So that's your dream, huh?
A dream? When you put it like that, I mean, that's kind of how I referred to it.
I'm kind of like actually about to explode with stuff that I want to talk about. I'm gonna give it a second.
Stop! You're embarrassing me.
But having a dream to work toward is really nice. I'll be cheering you on. In private, I don't want to embarrass myself by associating myself with you.
No, Mr. Nagy. In private is unacceptable. I'll put your face on the back of all my covers. I want you to become my assistant. That's right. A legendary assistant / historian.
You want me to do all the hard work?
Oh man, how cool is that? You'll be me. Oh man, how cool is that? You'll be like my own personal narrator. Long ago, there was a man named Hifumi Yamada. He was an incredibly famous fanfic creator. His grandpa went up to the mountain to cut and cut.
What?
And cut.
What are you talking about?
His grandma spent her days washing clothes, washing pants, washing all kinds of
What is
stuff.
wrong with you?
Here comes a rare giant peach down the river. Grab it, sell it to the highest bidder.
Aren't we talking about fables? Hifumi, what's wrong with you?
Oh, sorry, I just got a little carried away in my latest plot.
That's what that was?
Anyway, I'll be counting on you to give the world a play-by-play as I ascend into godhood.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm successful, and you know. I'll be counting on your unique perspective as my friend.
So what Hifumi wanted was to let other people experience the joys that he had. Because the joys that he experienced, it was what...
Life-changing.
Yeah, and it was what someone like him needed. What he needed was that. Like, that Princess Piggles was, for whatever reason, what could reach him.
And he wants to reach out to other people like him.
Not everybody can be reached by everything. He doesn't know about somebody who can be reached by sports. He doesn't know about somebody who can be reached by team managing. He doesn't know somebody who can, or know what it's like, or how you get reached by things like that. But he does know what he was like. And he does know what he doesn't want other people to become if he can help it. And that's really interesting how he was so open about like wanting to help out other people who were like him. When Hifumi was, and I'm just going to go ahead and use the word tricked. Mm-hmm. It's not quite correct, but when Hifumi was tricked by Celeste into committing murder and kind of going along with the whole plot, you know, what I'd said at the time was that he was used. He was used because he was given a chance to be the hero. To back up just slightly, you know, just like with Princess Piggles, he found alter ego and became instantly obsessed. It totally took over his life. He didn't think about anything else and just threw himself into it with complete abandon and neglecting every other aspect. And then sort of allowed himself to be cast as a character in one of his stories. Everything that he wanted to do, save someone else just to see that cute face, that joy, to experience that joy. But now you could do it for real, because unlike a character that's just a fictional character, which doesn't mean there's a problem with that.
Right.
This was alter ego, who existed more so than an anime character anyway. I know I'm rambling a bit about this. It is really sad. It was entirely his fault, what he did.
It's true.
He chose to ignore certain things and to focus on other things.
Indulge himself in his fantasy.
Yeah, he chose to indulge himself and to allow himself to completely give in. But he also showed like such a remarkable capacity for, well,
kindness, empathy, caring.
Yeah, I mean, remember, we were only able to nail Celeste because of him. I mean, without him, we wouldn't have had...
We wouldn't have been able to get it all to piece it all together.
But without him, there wouldn't have been anything to nail Celeste for, but...
Yeah.
You know, it's like he basically like came back after death, in other words.
Yeah.
And hadn't the announcement already played? And he like had like one last gasp? Maybe maybe the announcement hadn't played yet.
No, the announcement had played because everyone thought that he was dead.
I mean, it was his fault, but
in a way he did save everyone.
Yeah, in a way he did. And it's like, the thing that I think about him, especially after having called him a more realistic, like the most realistic character, or perhaps anyway, perhaps.
So far, we haven't done everyone.
Yeah, and all of this stuff is off the cuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like off the top of our heads. But had he only not neglected himself and had a more balanced life, I don't think he would have had to give up everything. But he probably would have been happier and he would have been less desperate.
Poor guy.
I'm not saying not to like entertainment.
You gotta moderate stuff, man.
You can't ever cast yourself in a story of your life. Like, that isn't how it works, you know? Well, I still like Hifumi.
Me too. I really like him.
I'll never not blame him for what he did, but I guess it's just too easy to relate, you know?
Yeah.
I'm glad I got to learn about Hifumi's dreams. I feel like I've come to understand Hifumi a lot better. I think we've finally become friends in the truest sense of the word.
Now, Mr. Nagy, put on that outfit in the background.
I will burn your face. I will burn your face until it melts. Then I will feed you the liquid concoction of your burned, melted face.
Or not.
Lost in
Translation.
Excellent.